Good afternoon, Namibia. Welcome to the Government Information Center. Today's topic is the collaboration and networking for lifelong learning with ministerial libraries. As we continue today, my name is Sylvanus Loto and I'll be your host for today. A library is more than just a collection of books. It is a source of knowledge that inspires, educates, and develops one's individual skills. Do you know that the most effective way in carrying out research to support your idea is to use the library? And of course, the best source being in fact your librarian. And they are well equipped and qualified. Joining me in studio today is Ms. Danjinganjingan Jarikana, a librarian from the Namibian Agriculture, Water and Land Reform Ministry. And we've got Ms. Martha Ntinda, a senior librarian at Micro Resource Center. And again, Mrs. Sabina Neumbo, a chief librarian at the Ministerial Library Center. Last but not least, Ms. Rachel Maswahu, a senior librarian at the National Earth Science and Energy Information. As the Ministry of International Relations and Cooperations, spearheading the advocacy and awareness campaign of the ministerial libraries, can you tell us more about the ministry and your libraries, Ms. Ntinda?
Thank you for the question. Ministerial Library hosts this event biannually where we raise awareness on the services of government libraries and the resource center. And today, the MIRCO is the one spearheading this event. Ministry of International Relations and Cooperation, formerly known as Foreign Affairs, was established on Namibian independence in 1990. The ministry was tasked with the managing of foreign policy on international relations and cooperation as stipulated in Article 96 of the Namibian Constitution, with overarching objective of protecting the nation's interest abroad. The Ministry of International Relations is therefore the administration and machinery responsible for the management of foreign policy of the Republic of Namibia, and its activities and functions are geared toward the formulation, coordination, and smooth functioning of policy on Namibia, insofar as they involve relation, bilateral and multilateral, with other countries and international organizations. The Ministry of International Relations and Cooperation has a resource center which was established in 2008, but became fully functional in August 2013. The resource center falls under the Directorate of Information and Research. The Directorate consists of two sections, which is Public Relations section and Library section. The Directorate is tasked with the implementation of public diplomacy strategy, develop research strategy, and enhance library management system. MIRCO Resource Center is a specializing library, specialized in the field of international relations, focusing on the subjects such as diplomacy, foreign policy, international relations, international law, regional and international organization, political science, economics, and other related subjects. It is also through our library that we make our staff members informed of the information by subscribing to international and regional and international information and magazine, as well as local newspaper. And this information are shared with the staff member on daily basis. The library has a study area whereby it can be used by staff members, students, and the researchers. Mirko Library has also used a functional library management system called Koha, and all our resources are captured and recorded to this library system for easy retrieval. This system can be accessed through the internet, and everyone can make use of this library management system. If they want to know what is available in the Mirko Resource Center, the system can also be accessed. You can access it wherever you are, whether in your office, at your house, international, regional. As long as you are in a place where there is internet connection, you'll be able to access this system. The library, Mirko Library, also have a functional Facebook page where we put our book review and also other information related to the ministry. On daily basis. This is just to cater for the students who are studying international relations and other people who has an interest on international relations. We are encouraging students and those who has interest in international relations and cooperation to make use of our library to access our resources, and also the students who are studying political science and economics, we are encouraging them to visit our library and make use of our resources. We also encourage students and other users to follow our Facebook page for updated and current information. And our Facebook page is Mirko Namibia Resource Center. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Briefly tell the audience what the ministerial libraries are, the distinction between ministerial libraries and the other libraries within the country, and the roles they play within the ministries, offices, and other agencies. Ms. Neumbo.
Thank you so much for the question. Ministerial or special libraries, or some call it government libraries, are libraries or information center, resource centers that are within, that are within the offices, ministries, agencies, and also government institutions that are established to support the vision and mission of their parent institution or their host institution. Currently, we have 16 functional libraries or resource center or information center. Namely, we have at the Ministry of Agriculture, Water and Forest, Ministry of Agriculture, we have at the Ministry of Education, Arts and Culture, we also have at the Ministry of Environment, at Mirko, as my colleague have already said. We also have a library at the Ministry of Defense, just to mention a few. These special libraries provide special subject-related information. For example, in the Ministry of Agriculture, you will find information resources that talks about farming, that talks about food production, and also in the case of education, you will find information that talks about arts, about culture, about anything that has to do with education. This information are scientific, they are peer-reviewed, they are technical information related to research and development. These special libraries serve their staff members. Our main purpose is to serve our staff members. So our audience or our clientele are staff members of the ministries. We also cater for students, for learners, for researchers, for business community, and also for the public at large. While public libraries are also called community libraries, these libraries they cater the community. They have information that are broader. They have everything that the library can have. Let's say, for example, they have information on education, it can be on mines, it can be on anything. Their collection is broader than ours. Ours are, for the Ministerial Library, it's a bit limited or it's subject related. We want to strictly focus on our parent institution. We want to support, because remember we said we are there to support the vision and mission of the host institution. So we are subject-based libraries. Coming back to your question of the role that we are playing within the ministries, these libraries are there to provide information and services to the employees of the ministries. We want our staff members, when they are going for the meetings, we want them to be prepared with any document. We have national documents, we have international documents, and we want our staff members, when they are going out there, they have the correct information so that they can make the right, or so that they make informed decision when they are in whatever they are doing to supplement their work, day-to-day work. Also, this information is meant to assist our employees from various line ministry to improve their performance at work, which in the end it will also enhance the ministry's performance. Thank you.
I see. Mrs. Nombo, let me stay with you for a while. You mentioned 16 ministerial libraries within Namibia.
Yes.
Are the staff of the ministry using these libraries to the fullest of their capacity? Or to what ratings would you put it out of 100 plus minus?
Yes, we can confidently say yes, the staff members are using, but there are also those ones that they do not know anything about the library, only the ones that are studying. That's why as a subdivision, we try to have this type of discussion, campaigns, awareness campaigns, so that we can bring, or so that we can make our users use these libraries, because those that know, yes, they are utilizing the libraries, and those that don't know, we want also to create this awareness to know that why are we there? We are there to support them. We are there to improve their work performance, even with their studies. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. What does the ministerial libraries offer, and are they accessible to the general public members? Ms. Maswahu.
Thank you for the question. Ministerial libraries are actually accessible to everyone. So let me just start looking at the services. As my colleague already mentioned, special libraries focus on a special subject. So having said this, if you are to walk into our collection, the first thing that you are going to notice is the fact that our collection is basically on one subject. This is because we are ensuring, this is where we are called special, because our collection is specialized on one subject area. And we are ensuring that our collection actually speaks to the mandate of the ministry. So talking of the services that you would find, one of the services that you would find is information resources in different formats, because some of our users would mostly be interested in the physical, some would be interested in the electronic versions. So our collection comprises of both. We are ensuring that we have a balanced collection that speaks to everyone's needs. This is where we do user needs assessment, ensuring that everyone's needs are met. We also provide Wi-Fi services, so users can come in and make use of the Wi-Fi, of the passwords, internet services, and as well as networking with different libraries where they could also borrow materials from us. talking of accessibility in terms of the public, it is actually open to the general public, but then the only restrictions that we have is in terms of borrowing. This is due to the fact that we have problems in tracing resources once they leave. So this is where we actually just reserve it for staff members. But as for the general public, the only way that they could be able to access our resources is through interlending, which is a system we have in place where we are able to borrow materials through different libraries. For example, a student studying from UNAM, NAST or IUM who's interested in our collection can actually speak to the librarian, and then the librarian can actually borrow these materials from us. As a person from the public, the only thing that we could do is to allow them to actually use our resources within the library vicinity, but then they would not be allowed to live with this. And maybe they could, and the other exception we can make is if they could make copies for them of the resources that we have, keeping in line with copyright rules and keeping in mind to copyright rules. Thank you.
Well, thank you. You say, yes, it is open for the general public, however, it is special subject related. Yes. Upon the declaration of knowledge-based economies by the World Bank in 2002, most countries showed aspiration to transition into knowledge-based economies, and Namibia is one of those countries. Given the 8 remaining years before 2030 in which Namibia wishes to realize this goal, can you tell us the relevance of ministerial libraries in the realization of this goal and how they can help their respective ministries contribute to the achievement of this goal? Ms. Njarakana.
Thank you for the question. Before I get into how we are relevant or contribute to this, I would like to first define what a knowledge-based economy is. But a knowledge-based economy is an economy where countries are expected to invest into the production, generation, adoption, and use of knowledge. So in knowledge management, there are 2 aspects to it. There is the management of tacit knowledge and management of explicit knowledge. The tacit knowledge is the knowledge that individuals own, and knowledge that you cannot easily get out of individuals. And the explicit knowledge is the knowledge that we find within printed or documented materials. So looking at the nature of our work as ministerial libraries, we already manage explicit knowledge, because the management of explicit knowledge involves the acquisition, organization, storage, dissemination, and advocate for usage of information and knowledge. And that's what we already do. And given a practical examples, a practical example of us sitting here today, where we are advocating for library usage. So on the other hand, a knowledge-based economy rests on 4 pillars. This is the economic and institutional regime, education and human resources, information communication technology, and the innovation systems. So when we look at these pillars, there is a need for a country to have highly skilled knowledge workers. And for us to have highly skilled knowledge workers who can spearhead in innovations, as in like coming up with products and services that can help the economy to thrive, we need highly skilled knowledge workers, and we cannot have highly skilled knowledge workers if they are not engaging into education and more especially lifelong learning. So as ministerial libraries in provision of information that pertains to our subject areas, we intend to equip our staff members with information that can enable them to advance knowledge in line with their professions or the roles that they serve in our ministries. We also provide information as much as we can by using information communication technology. So this is to ensure that our staff members, irrespective of where they find themselves or geographical location, whether it's Windhoek, Gobabis, Rundu, wherever, they can still access our collection. And this is one of the building block of a knowledge-based economy. The ICT is one of the most important pillar. So as ministerial librarians, we are already engaged into this. So I believe we are also contributing to our ministry, helping our ministries to contribute to the achievement of this goal, because we already have it in motion. And for the innovation systems, there is a need for a researcher to be able to produce a sound propositional knowledge that can be turned into technological advances, which is technological knowledge. Mm-hmm. But for that, a researcher will not be able to provide or innovate if they do not have access to a variety of information. So as ministerial libraries, we try to equip our staff members in this area through the books we purchase and subscription to information resources both at national, continental, and global levels.
Well, thank you very much. Just to remind our viewers at home, this is an interactive session. For those that would like to share a comment or ask a question, you can do it on our Facebook page at Ministry of Information and Communication Technology, Republic of Namibia, or on YouTube, which is the MICT Namibia. Alternatively, you can call in line very shortly at 061 400 397. Looking at the bigger picture, how, in your view, are libraries contributing to the substantial development goals? Ms. Ntinda.
Thank you very much once again. The Sustainable Development Goals, SDG, also known as Global Goals, were adopted by the United Nations in 2015 as a universal call to action to end poverty, protect the planet, and ensure that by 2030, all people enjoy peace and prosperity. Access to information is a key for shaping economic, social, and cultural decisions to be taken by either individual or national level. Libraries are now drive progress across the entire UN 2030 agenda. And the following are successes that already made by Ministerial Library. We are, as libraries, we are involved in all 17 SDG, but today I'm going to only focus on the 4 of them, which is number 1, end poverty. How library is involved in this? Library is provide information which is needed by the public to make the informed decision. If the public have an information on how to come up maybe with their business, to start their business, or to start a certain project, then they will be able to start their business. And with the library, we make sure that we provide or we make information access to the public. This is involved Ministerial Library and public library. For example, as a library in general, we need to take the service to the people, because you find out sometimes that we have information, and the information is also available to the public, but there are people who are unable to reach to the library. This is where the library, some libraries comes in to provide the mobile library to take the service to the people. In this way, we are informed, and in our public, we provide access to information, and when people have information, they'll be able to end poverty. Looking at goal number 2, end hunger.
Just to disturb you there quickly, Ms. Ndina, hold on to goal number 2. We have a caller online. Anytime from Tsumeb, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Okay, you live. Talk to us.
All right, thank you. Even though I just got the topic already under discussion, I'm not aware as to which ministries are being referred to into such discussions, whether it's a particular ministry or it's Ministry of Education, I don't know. Maybe before I advance my contribution to that one, maybe you can enlighten me. Which ministries are these?
Is your question which ministry is with us in studio today?
Yes.
Okay, we have Namibian Agriculture and Water Land Reform. We've got the Micro Resource Center, Ministerial Library Services, and of course, National Earth Science and Energy Information. I believe that's mines.
All right. Okay, the library services. For me, that's only a concern, since one of the panelists indicated it, technological knowledge. Just from there, I'm particularly contemplating on the libraries in schools now. When we talk of the technology, and we understand that the teachers are now, some of them are being identified to go for ICT training. Now, when we talk of technological knowledge, how many of the teachers, and particularly in the Ministry of Education now, and in relation to the library, like it has been indicated that technological knowledge, how many of the teachers are in the mainstream of ICT towards that technological knowledge? That is the question that I wanted just only to. It's a concern because we are lagging behind this technology.
Okay, anytime, Mr. N, can you just to rephrase your question? How many teachers are?
I'm saying that as there is a need now, an urgency need of everyone to be ICT literate or trained. Like one of the panelists indicated, that is technological knowledge.
Okay.
Even in the public, how do we go in this mainstream of being technological knowledgeable? If ICT is just only for a handful of them that are access to this ICT, and even the Ministry of Education now is taking I think it has introduced the training for the teachers to training few teachers into ICT, but the majority of them, they will be lagging behind this ICT knowledge. How do we address that one?
Okay, we shall wait for an answer on that one.
Yes.
Maybe someone in the studio.
Library services also, they also linked to technological knowledge.
Okay, you mentioned the Ministry of Education rolled out an ICT program to train teachers. Is that so?
Yes.
Okay, but your question is, to what extent does it go?
Yes, what extent does it go? Because like I'm indicating that one of the panelists indicated that we need to have this technological knowledge. Now, when you talk of technology, ICT is at the forefront.
Okay, thank you very much. The question is very clear. Thank you very much, Mr. Anytime from SUMEP.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Ms. Ntinda, perhaps we'll get back to Mr. Anytime. Perhaps you can continue with your point.
Okay, goal number 2 is talking about end hunger. Libraries are providing information on agricultural research and the data on how to make crops more productive and sustainable to cater for their basic needs. This information are provided by Ministry of Agriculture Information Center, whereby they make the public aware on how to start their own garden, on how to, if someone, let me say a public want or individual want to start their own backyard garden, they will find this information from Ministry of Agriculture. And with this information at the end of the day, will end hunger in our country, because everyone will be able to provide themselves with food. You don't need to go to the shop just for tomato or spinach, but you can grow this on your own. that's why library is also come in to provide such information just for the public to be aware that when you want to start your own garden, what type of soil that you need to grow a certain product, or what type of fertilizer do you need to use to make sure that your crops is not destroyed by pesticide. Looking at goal number 4, which is quality education, library play a role in quality education by provide access to free information, and also to provide free computers, access to free computers, access to free internet, and also provide conducive learning environment. With the Ministerial Library, we have the Ministry of Education, Art and Culture Resource Center, whereby they make sure they provide all this information to cater for the public and students. And also they have free computers whereby the students can come and do their schoolwork, their assignment, because you find out that sometimes a student at the university, they are studying there, but they are not able to have their own laptops, or they are not access to the Wi-Fi and computers. With what the library are providing, these services that are provided by libraries, we are trying to help to close the gap, whereby to help students, those who are unable to purchase the textbook for themselves, then they can make use of information which are available at the library. Those who cannot able to buy themselves laptops, then they can make use of library computers, which are free. All they need to do is just to visit the library. They can make use of that specific time by booking, and then they can make use of that computers. And also when it comes to conducive study environment, there are people who don't have at their places, who don't have places to study. Maybe the place is too small, but with the services that the library are providing, this student or public are catered for just to come to the library during the day and make use of that space to study and do their work. Goal number 17, which is the last goal that I'm going to talk about now, is strengthening partnership for the goals. This goal have to do with strengthening and building partnership for economic growth and development. And this is where MIRCO Library falls, because MIRCO, as a Ministry of International Relations, they make sure that we have a strong relationship with other countries. And by this, with the Ministry of International Relations, currently we are providing information on the project which is in the pipeline. It's not yet implemented, but it's there, which is called Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement. With this agreement, it's our local business, especially the small business, through the partnership that Namibia have with other countries, they are going to benefit, small business, they are going to benefit when it comes to trade. And also, if this kind of agreement implemented, the people will be able to trade freely with other countries. And as a ministry now, in conjunction with the library, we are currently trying to reach people just to create an awareness and sensitize the public with such information to ensure that when such kind of agreement is implemented, then the public are aware. So library are really playing a role in sustainable development goals.
Thank you very much, ma'am. As was alluded, if you're finding it difficult to gain some information, the ministerial libraries are open and they are free of cost. And they have valuable information depending in what sector you want to venture in, it be farming, that they have specific guidelines that have been trialed and tested, put it that way. How can the ministerial libraries support research and learning needs of staff members for lifelong learning? Ms. Njarakana.
Thank you once again for the question. As ministerial librarians, we understand that economic competitiveness depends on the knowledge, skills, and innovations of the workforce. And for our workforce to be able to deliver on this, there is a need for learning, training, and education. So our initial mandate of ministerial libraries to provide information in the subject areas which we serve, like I already indicated, is mainly meant to meet these learning needs. So in our collection, we try as much as possible to have information that can help staff members within our different directorates and division to identify new areas of research, or let me say findings of research, current trends in their subject and roles, for them to best align their work in order to contribute to the achievement of short and long-term goals of our ministries. So we support lifelong learning in a sense that the collection that we have is mainly to support staff members to perform in their roles. And we do so by incorporating a collection that can enable a staff member to advance professional knowledge. So we equally also support research through the variety of information that we try to subscribe to. And we believe that for any researcher to be able to form a basis on a topic that they would want to embark on studying, they need access to a selection of information for them to be able to do in-depth selection through secondary and primary sources of information. Apart from that, we support research in our ministries in a sense that we capture the internally produced explicit knowledge. So let me say, in my collection, you can find reports on previously held projects, like for instance, the Knowledge project that was previously held in our ministry. This is to enable the ministry or staff members in the future to know what to study. Let's say, depending on the findings of the project or the conclusions that were documented, on what ground can a staff members now begin another project in a similar line? So this is how we support research.
Well, thank you, Ms. Njarakana. To stay on you, we have a question on one of our social media platforms. Ms. Njarakana, please elaborate on ICT programs in place in relation to information provision.
Okay.
By Creech Emerson.
Should I answer immediately?
Yes.
Okay. ICT infrastructures that we use to provide information is like, first of all, we have e-resources. E-resources is the kind of information that a staff member or any user can access from wherever they are. Equally, as librarians, we also provide information through telephones, like a user or a staff member can call us with specific information needs, and we can be able to deliver. Like if inquiry was done on the telephone, we can be able to send this information either via email or WhatsApp, depending on what infrastructure is suitable for the user.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
ICT is widely spoken about. What do you think about the future of ministerial libraries in the digital era? Ms. Mshwahu.
Thank you for the question. I think the future of libraries has been debated for so many years, but then we are still relevant and we still remain. Let me take you back to the history of libraries. When libraries began, they were simply storehouses of information. And look at how far they have evolved. One of our influential scholars, Ranganathan, had indicated that a library is a growing organism. So looking at the services that we have now, you can see how we have grown as libraries. We are not physical, we are not confined to the physical buildings like we were in the past. We have seen a need for people to want to have the physical and virtual services provided by libraries, and this is where we have ventured in. Technology is very important, but then libraries have always had this component of adopting and evolving with time. So looking at the services that we have now, we have features such as Ask the Librarian, which are virtual services, which fall in line with the digital era. So another point that I would like to mention is just to put it out there. So libraries, okay, so that question will basically be more of saying, now that we have dictionaries and we have computers, we have dictionaries and calculators. So math and English teachers will not be needed anymore because students can simply consult the dictionary for English terminologies and they can use the calculators for all the calculations that they might need. So that goes in line with libraries. Even though technology is there and everything is digital, we still have authors that are going to continue to produce information. And we as libraries are going to be there to collect and store, which is at the mandate of our functions. But then we are going to evolve with the time and adopt. So one thing that the public needs to know is we have been doing this and we will continue to do this. So in our libraries now, there's a balance between the physical and the digital aspects. Because when you walk into our libraries, if you want the physical journals, we can provide you with the physical journal. Or if you prefer to have the electronic version, you can still get access to this because we have subscribed to e-resources that makes it easier for our staff members to retrieve information from the comfort of their offices, rather than them coming into the building if they feel they don't have that time. So libraries will definitely still exist in the near future to come. We are going to coexist with technology while ensuring that we provide the necessary information to everyone. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Ms. Mswahu. We have a caller online, Golden from Okakarara. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, please proceed.
Yes, thank you very much for your time, and I also appreciate all the panels that are there on a very good afternoon. And I have one very simple question to have. We are challenged with the library in the region of Namibia in particular. I just want to pose the question that what are the remedies that in place we have on the government side to make sure that we have at least a library in each constituency?
Mr. Golden,
Yes.
just repeat your question again.
I just want to ask what are the remedies that are in place from the government side to make sure that all the constituencies are having a library? Because as far as I'm concerned, I know that in Namibia in particular, the constituencies in the region, they are not all equipped with the public library. So what are the remedies in place that the government can make sure that we can make libraries visible in all the constituencies?
I see. Thank you, Mr. Golden. Someone will get back to you on that one.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone would like to say that, or can we get back to that one?
We can get back to that one.
Okay.
We can get back to that one.
Okay, awesome. Overall, what measures are put in place by the Ministerial Library Services to ensure access to government information by all citizens in the country? Probably relating to the question by the caller. Ms. Nombo, this one is yours.
Thank you so much for the question once again. Access to information is very critical for enabling citizens to exercise their voice, to improve their livelihood, and to enter into informed dialogue about decisions which affect their lives, thus contributing to the government efforts of e-governance. The ministerial libraries are providing information and extending library services countrywide in effort to fulfill the above through provision of information through our library management system. My fellow colleague have mentioned, she have talked about library management system whereby we capture and store the available information so that it can be easier when our users are coming to the library. It will be easier and faster for us to assist them with whatever information that they are looking for. And also through our Facebook pages that are linked to the ministerial website. For example, my colleague have also alluded earlier that their Facebook page, for example, now Mirko, their Facebook page is linked to their ministerial library. So what the users can do is just to click or to follow them on their Facebook page so that they can be kept up to date with all the current information that are coming up, with the up-to-date books that are around or that is available in the Mirko library. And again, my colleague have also mentioned about Ask the Librarian, which is also known as Chat to a Librarian, whereby we allow our users to engage with us. They can simply email us or call us and for anything that they are looking for within our libraries, and then we can now provide the information, be it on emails or be it now on what? On telephonically. It depends really on what type of format is the user looking for that information. We are also not limited to the distance. It's not a matter of you coming to the library physically. We have e-resources and digital content in place. All what our users can do is to call these librarians and bring their question, forward their question, or we direct them or we take them through on how to access this information and how to access the journals or articles that they are looking for. And finally, it's now through advocacies and library awareness, like the way we are seated here. I believe, and I strongly believe that those that are even seated in Katima that have not known that there are libraries that are within, let's say, for example, like libraries, we have a library at the Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Resources in Swakopmund, and I believe there are people that are looking for information related to marine resources, and they have no idea where to access that information. By doing this today, they would know that there is a library at Swakopmund, and they can access that information freely, and we always make sure that we provide that information as efficient and as quick as possible. I thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Within your respective ministries as librarians, would you say there is a lot of, we mentioned journals, articles, theses, and books. Would you say there are a lot of local content within these libraries? None of the floor can take it.
Thank you very much. Yes, I can say yes. Like with Ministry of International Relations, we also have books on local, like local published books, and also government information, like government publication from other ministry. We also have that section where the staff members or user can find such information. On the books, we have all books that almost all the books that are published in Namibia, whether it comes to the history or politics about Namibia, you can find such information. But what we don't have as Mirko and the user come in, then we will be able to get it from the next ministerial library.
I see. Yes, of course, Ms. Nembo.
Just to add on what my colleague said, yes, the local content is available within our libraries. Let's say, for example, if they go to the National Library, there are, of course, since the National Library is mandated or is a center for legal deposit, all the publication that talks about Namibia, that were published in Namibia, they are available at the National Library and also at the other centers like the Parliament Library, Kietmanshoop Community Library. The publications are available.
Well, thank you. It seems we have another question online, one of our social media platforms. Ms. Creech Emerson again. Are library users inducted about copyright?
In all our libraries, one of the things that you are going to find when you walk in, next to the copy machine are the library rules on copyright. So in most cases, when a user wants to make copies, it is clearly written out there so they know what they're supposed to do in terms of copyright, or if it's someone that is new to the library that doesn't know if you don't have signs. So as a librarian, it's always our task to ensure that before they make copies, we tell them about copyright and ensure that the copies that they make are in line, that they don't actually break these copyright rules. So in most libraries, when you walk in, you're going to find that next to the copy machines, these rules are put in place where every user is able to see them clearly written out. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Frank answer directly. Any last words before we then embark? I can start here, Ms. Ntinga.
My last word that I want to tell the public is that if they want to visit Mirko Library, they can find us at a government info. They can find us at the Parliament Garden in the Ministry of International Relations and Cooperation, Theobeni Gurirap building, third floor, East Wing. That is where they can find our library, just to make use of our resources.
Thank you, ma'am. Oh, just hold on. I believe we have a caller. Is he available? Caller, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Awesome. Kindly state your name and proceed. We're running out of time.
It's Sandy from Windows. I actually just want to find out how the library is catering for differently abled Namibians.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
All right.
Okay. Mrs. Nombo, perhaps your last words? And then I think Ms. Aswaho wants to answer the question.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you very much. I would like to urge the public, especially the staff members of our respectful ministries, to visit the libraries. The librarians are there, available, readily waiting for them to assist them with whatever they are looking for. The information are there, be it electronic information or physical information. They should not hesitate to contact us. We'll be readily available to assist them.
Okay. Ms. Masaho, last words?
Yes.
And perhaps quickly answer the question.
Yes, I'd like to just quickly answer the question. Our libraries are designed in a way that they are user-friendly to everyone. So even people that are wheelchair-bound can actually make use of our libraries because it's designed in such a way that it doesn't exclude anyone. Our computers actually have audio built-in functionalities that, for example, a person who is blind can actually be able to listen to audios because it will be able to read out the words. We also provide headphones for those ones that, like for the disabled, like ones that can't see actually, to actually assist them in such a case. And we're just ensuring that we're able to assist all, like if we are able to find materials from other libraries, let's say Braille, we're able to actually try and see if we can get such materials from UNAM if we have such staff members with such needs. So
Okay.
thank you.
Last words?
Our last words would be, yes, just a call out to everyone to please make use of our library facilities. We are always a friendly face. We are always ready and willing to assist at any given time. So please, our libraries are open. So we'd love to see you making use of them because we are there to serve you.
Thank you. Ms. Cherekana, very soft, very short, please.
Okay, my word to the Namibian nation is that a thriving Namibian economy requires all of us to be well informed. And we won't be well informed if we are not making use of information. So we urge the public and mostly our staff members to make use of our information centers.
Thank you very much. This was your Government Information Center, and our topic was collaboration and networking for lifelonging with ministerial libraries. My name is Sylvanus Loto. Good day.